What if I told you there's a Faceless channel that's quietly rewriting the YouTube playbook right now, but hardly anyone's noticed? The name of the channel is barely evolved, and it was launched just this April. But within just 3 months, they've somehow managed to rack up more than 75,000 subscribers. And that's not even the craziest part. What's truly mind-blowing is the fact that they did this with only one video. Yes, they literally uploaded a single video, which is already sitting at 5.6 million views. If you're wondering what they're doing, the channel is simply creating funny history countdowns about humanity's worst survival scenarios. And they paired this with some pretty jaw-dropping storytelling and bizarre imagery, making the entire video addictively engaging. Now, I know you must be thinking this kind of video would be impossible to make, but that's where I come in. I'm going to give you the full blueprint to creating videos like this with the help of AI. From coming up with exciting topics like the one the channel we're modeling posted, to actually creating engaging scripts that will keep viewers watching. Once the script is ready, I'll show you how to create the voiceover using not only paid tools, but with a game-changing tool that's completely free to use right now. Then we'll move on to generating the necessary images for the story, as well as how to create and edit the characters that you'll need, before bringing everything to an end with a short lesson on editing the video to get similar results like the channel we're modeling. Oh, and for anyone who's curious about monetization, the channel is fully monetized, as you can see from here. If this isn't enough to convince you, install YouTube Monetization Checker from the Chrome Web Store. No need to worry about payment, it's completely free to use. Once it's installed, refresh the channel page and look for the extension icon. Click on it and hit this Check This Channel button. Wait a few seconds and you'll know whether the channel is monetized or not. As you can see, this channel is completely monetized, so nothing stops you from creating your own channel right now. I know coming up with prompts for every part of a niche like this isn't easy, which is why I've done the hard work and put every single prompt that you'll need for this niche inside a Google Doc, which you can find in the prompts channel of my Discord server. Just look for the name Barely Evolved and the link should be right on that card. Not only that, I'll also be leaving any relevant image resources that will be used in this video inside the files channel of the same server. The link to the Discord will be the first one in the description of this video. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button if you genuinely find this video helpful. Now, before we get started, check out this short demo that I made for this niche using the exact same strategy I'm about to walk you through.
This is you, staring into your fridge at midnight, sighing because there's nothing good to eat. There's a whole shelf of leftovers, 3 kinds of cheese, and enough snack food to keep a small scout troop alive for a week, but somehow you're starving. Now, backtrack past your parents, your grandparents, every distant relative who ever rolled their eyes at your food complaints, all the way to this guy crouched in the dirt, ribs poking out like a half-built picket fence, eyes fixed on a single bug crawling past. That guy, that's your ancestor. He has no name, no shoes, and no idea that you, a distant descendant with an on-demand grocery delivery app, even exist. But here's the thing. If that guy, or anyone in your ancestral chain, had missed just one lucky day of food, you wouldn't be here. We're gonna rank 5 times your ancestors were put through the kind of food shortages that make skipping lunch look like a luxury spa cleanse.
The first step is to come up with some intriguing topics for the video. I've made this step easy by providing a simple prompt that will point you in the right direction. So open the Google Doc I mentioned and look for this heading. Copy everything under it and go to your favorite text generator. I'll be using ChatGPT for this demonstration, but feel free to go with whichever tool that you prefer. Grok, Google's Gemini, DeepSeek, or even Qwen work just fine. Paste the prompt inside the text generator and make a single change. Look for this placeholder inside the prompt and replace it with the number of topics you want the AI to generate. You can always regenerate or ask the AI to add more, so something like 20 should work. Now, hit enter and wait for your topics to be ready. As you can see, it's generated a bunch of interesting topics that you can choose from. Go through and choose the ones that you want for your video. If none of the topics that the AI generated are good enough, you can also ask it for more or simply regenerate. Once you've selected your topic, it's time to create the script. This part is equally simple, so go to the Google Doc and copy the prompt under the script heading. Open your text generator once again and paste the copied prompt. Before you do anything, you need to understand something. The video from the channel we're modeling is about 1,200 words, so I structured the prompt to create scripts ranging anywhere from that to 2,000 words. I know this range is quite broad, but it makes up for any mistakes the AI might make with the number of words. Now you need to add the topic, so remove this placeholder and replace it with the topic you've chosen. I'm going to go with this one about the closest humanity has come to starving to death. You don't need to do anything else, so hit enter and wait for the full script to be ready. This script is alright and the word count is about 1400, which isn't bad, but I don't recommend using it just like that. After all, AI is good, but it still lacks that human touch. So go through and make your own changes. A bit of humor and personality will definitely take you far. But once everything looks good, it's time to create the voiceover. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to be showing you a free tool that you can use that's just as good as 11 Labs and every other premium text-to-speech tool on the market. The name of the tool is Google AI Studio, and it's actually the tool I used to create the narration for the demo I showed you. Make sure you've signed up with your email if you're prompted to create an account. Once logged in, you'll be presented with this interface. Don't worry about any of the other tools. Simply choose this native speech generation option to be taken to the speech generation page. The tool is still in preview, so it's currently free to use. I personally haven't seen a cap on the number of characters users can generate. Now, as you can see, their interface is quite simple and works like most other text generators. At the top right corner are two models that you can choose from, the Pro and Flash models. The Pro model's alright, so choose that and select the mode. The best part about this tool is that you can generate conversation for multiple speakers in your story if necessary, which can be pretty useful. I'll go with the single speaker for now. You can also test out the temperature level. It mostly gives the AI more room to be creative with the response, which is also cool. So give that a try. They don't have a wide range of voice characters unlike 11 Labs, but the ones they have are just as good. I'll choose this random voice and paste the script. All that's left is to hit run and wait for the narration to be ready. Now, if you don't like this and want to use 11 Labs, choose the voice that you want and go to Studio. Hit this button and paste the full script. I typically like to break my scripts down into paragraphs of 1 or 2 sentences, but I'll leave it the way it is and select everything. Hit generate and the AI will start creating the voiceover starting from the first paragraph. If something doesn't sound good, you can always click that paragraph and regenerate. Repeat this till your entire script sounds the way you want it, and then export it to your computer. Now that the voiceover's done, it's time to create the images for the story. But before you do that, you need image prompts that you can use to generate them. So grab this entire prompt from the Google Drive and paste it inside your text generator. You need to specify the number of image prompts that you want the AI to generate, so go with as many as you want. In this case, I'll go with 30, then scroll down to the bottom for the script placeholder. Make sure you've copied your entire script or even any section of it. Then remove the placeholder and replace it with your copied script. Hit enter and wait for the AI to generate the image prompts. Now, before you start generating the images, there's something you need to understand. The prompt that you gave the AI is structured to group the generated image prompts into 3 categories. The first one is for the scene, and as the name suggests, those are the prompts you'll be using to create the individual scenes without the characters. Then there's this other set for animals, which may not be necessary if your script doesn't include any animals. But in order to cater for anything like that in the script, I decided to include them. Then there's this final prompt for clothing. You'll be creating a few characters for the script, so this gives you a bunch of clothing options for them. Now, for the scene generations, you can use whichever tool you prefer, including ImageFX if you want a free option. But ChatGPT is also good, so I'll be using that. Paste the prompt and wait for the AI to finish generating the image. One thing that you need to keep in mind is that AI isn't perfect, so you may need to tweak these prompts where necessary. This first image isn't bad, but the AI added a character which isn't necessary, so I'll regenerate it. This one is considerably better, so let's try generating another one. It's equally good, and these results from ImageFX are just as impressive. I personally prefer some of the scenes from this tool better than the ones from ChatGPT, but the tool you decide on depends on your preference, or you can even combine them. Now it's time to move on to the next step, which is generating the characters. You need 1 or more characters for illustration and some stick figures as well. This can take some time, so I've put all the characters I created for the demo inside the resource file I mentioned earlier. Feel free to use them without any limitations, but if you want to create your own, I've made some prompts available to simplify the process. For the first character, I've added different variations for you to choose from, so test them out and choose the one that you want for your video. Copy and paste it inside ChatGPT or whichever image generator you're using, and then wait for the image to be ready. This first image isn't bad, so keep trying some of the other characters till you find one that you want to use. You need the character to move its body, arms, and head, so we're going to remove everything, leaving only the head. Open your favorite image editor and drop the downloaded image inside. Choose the magic wand tool and click the background to remove it. Then use the eraser tool to clean everything else, leaving only the head of the character. You can even use the paint bucket tool and your preferred color to change the hair if you want to. This character is wearing glasses, which is good for scenes where you want him to serve as a teacher. You can keep it for other scenes as well, but I personally prefer creating another variation without the glasses. Before that, don't forget to export it as a PNG image. To remove the glasses, choose the eraser tool. Decrease or increase the size and click and drag to clear it. Once you're done, simply use the bucket tool to fill in the color, and your image is ready for export. Next, you need the rest of the body. Like I said, every resource I used will be available for you, so you can skip this part. But knowing how to edit this will help you better create something unique for yourself. Copy this prompt from the Google Doc and replace this placeholder with the variations you want the AI to generate. Then copy and paste them inside the image generator to find the ones that you like. These ones look good, so choose one and drop it inside Photopea. As you can see, this image looks weird, so we need to get rid of the arms. First, choose the pen tool, making sure you change this to shape, turn off fill, and choose black for stroke. Increase the size and click these 2 points to create a line connecting them. Then choose the eraser tool and use it to clean the arms. For the background, simply use the magic wand to remove it, and the body is ready for export as a PNG file. For the character's arms, just some line drawings should do, so hide the character layer and create a new layer. Then use the brush or pen tool to create a simple curved line, one arm, and repeat for the second. Simple as that. You can add a leg if you want using this same process, but the channel we're modeling doesn't add one for their character, so I'll skip it. There's this classroom scene for the character, which is pretty cool. If you want to create your own, copy this prompt and use ChatGPT or whichever AI that you want to generate it. You can modify the prompt to create something different, but this one looks alright, so I'll download it. In order to make it possible for the character to pass behind the table when teaching, you need to separate it from the rest of the image. So add it to Photopea, and then click and hold the magic wand for the quick selection tool. Make sure it's selected, and use it to remove everything, leaving only the table. If it selects something you don't want to get rid of, hit the minus sign and click that selection to remove it. Then select the plus icon again and continue clearing the scene. To make it simpler, hit delete each time you've selected something. Trying to select everything at once will make things a lot more difficult. Don't worry about it taking a bit of time. It's something that you'll only be doing once. Use the eraser to clean any extra lines like these, and then export your image as a PNG once done. For the stick figure characters, copy this prompt and paste it inside ChatGPT. Scroll down and change this placeholder to the kind of character you want. You can go with a grandfather, mother, old man, or any other characters that you want to create. Unfortunately, you may not always get the exact stick figure character that you want, so drop it inside Photopea and use the lasso tool to separate the mouth. You can also get rid of it entirely and redraw, but this way also works. Once you're done with the selection, press Ctrl+X to cut and Ctrl+V to paste it as a new layer. Then use the eraser tool to remove the nose and eyes if you want to. You can always redraw using the brush tool. Then also use the eraser tool to remove the rest of the body of the character, leaving only the head. Now you can use the pen tool to draw the rest of the body. I personally like to separate the character's head from the rest of the body and export them separately. That way the stick figure body can be reused for any other characters. Now once you're done editing the image, it's time to move on to the next step, which is actually putting everything together to make your video. CapCut works just fine for this style of video, so make sure it's open, and then import all the audio and image files. The first thing you need to do is to drag and drop the voiceover file inside the timeline, then quickly go through the narration and remove any long pauses. Once that's done, you need to add a white background, so download one from a website like Vecteezy or use the one I've included in the resource folder. Drag and drop it inside the timeline and extend it to fit the entire duration of the story. Now it's time to arrange the images according to the flow of the narration. Create compound clips where necessary and use keyframes to zoom in and out like this. If you're using a tool like Premiere Pro, you can even smoothen out any keyframe animations that you decide to add. One other thing that makes these videos engaging are the sound effects. You can download them from a website like Pixabay. Drop it inside the timeline and move the voiceover forward after the effect has ended. In case you want to create a timeline animation, you'll need to add a line. This can be done in two ways. First is to add the default text to the timeline, change the color, and change the text to something like this. Decrease the character spacing to create a simple line. You can extend it, but another way is to use a black line. I've included one in the resource folder. Simply drop it inside the timeline and turn off uniform scale. Now you can scale the width and bring in this other black line image, scale and position it at the start of the image, and bring in your first character. Position it under the line and add a text for the year above the same line. Duplicate the smaller line layer and move it to somewhere like this. Then bring in another image, in this case the head of one of the characters, and position it under the new line. Add the image of the stick figure without the head and position it properly. You'll be repeating this trick for most of the stick characters, so keep it in mind. Duplicate the line divider again and repeat the previous process. Make sure each one pops up before the next. We want to create a timeline effect, so select all the layers and copy. Then move forward and paste the copied layers. Go back and select the original layers again. Right-click and create a compound clip. I'm going to hide the compound layer and move the long line for the duplicate layers to cover the full width. Add the line dividers and images just like before, and once you're done, duplicate them again like before. Don't forget to make the previous layers into a compound clip. Repeat this as many times as you need and unhide any hidden layers. To create the scroll effect, move forward a bit and set a keyframe. Then move the line to the beginning of the compound clip and scale it up. I want a slight pause for each of the initial characters, but after the third one, it should scroll quickly to the final compound clip. So repeat the keyframes for the next characters, and once it's done, bring the next compound clip above like this. Don't forget to use the same scale amount and then move it to the left so that it's not visible. Go forward and move the first clip to the right. Set keyframes for the second clip to move it from the left to the right so that it lines up with the movement from the first clip. Now you have a continuous timeline animation like this. Play around with the keyframes if it doesn't line up properly. But once you're done, repeat this process for the rest of the compound clips that you created for the timeline. Then select all of those clips and put them inside another compound clip. Make sure you split the clip at the point where you want it to start speeding up, and then increase the speed of the whole clip as much as you want. Once that's done, keep arranging your images according to the flow of your narration. For a scene like this where you want to add a moving character, bring in the parts and arrange them. To move the character, set keyframes for each body part. Move forward and change the position of each part. It doesn't need to be anything complicated. Just move and rotate the head slightly to create that simple illusion that the character is actually moving. Then do the same for the arms as well. I want to add a simple tumbleweed so that it knocks away the bug, so I'll bring it. Move it to the right. Set a keyframe to move it all the way to the left, not forgetting to include the rotation for the spin. At the point where it reaches the bug, I'll set a keyframe, go forward and move the bug away from the screen. A little rotation sells the illusion, so don't forget to add it. Obviously, you need to add some sound effects to a scene like this, so feel free to be creative. For this other scene where you want the teacher to show on screen, bring in that image and position it appropriately. Then add the image of the table that you edited and position it exactly where the original one is located. Don't forget to scale if necessary. Bring in the parts for the teacher and make sure they're all positioned below the table layer. That way it looks like the character is behind the table. Use the same process we used to animate the character earlier to move him from the right side to the table. In case you want to add some kind of text to the board, download any chalkboard writing style font and type what you want to show. You can also use ChatGPT to generate a transparent image like I did and position it on the board. Now keep arranging the images till you're done with your entire story. This kind of video doesn't really need any background music, so simply go to Filters and look for one that fits the mood you're going for. Drop it inside the timeline and extend to fit the full duration of your narration. The video's looking good, so you can go ahead and export it. Now, this niche is one of 2 hottest niches on YouTube right now. If you want to see the other one, take a look at this video on your screen. Anyway, thank you and see you in the next one.